Welcome back. Bella Day to you. Today I'll be talking about what's called an invisible disability. An invisible disability is classified as a physical, mental, or neurological condition that is not visible from the outside, yet can limit or challenge a person's movements. What is spinal stenosis? Narrowing of the passageway. And there are two types of spinal stenosis. Let me demonstrate. This is the vertebrae. Here's your spinal cord. In a normal spinal cord, there's space around the spinal cord so that when your spinal cord moves around inside your spine, it doesn't impinge on the bony parts of your spine, your vertebrae. When you have spinal stenosis, this is your central canal. It's smaller, the area gets narrow, and so it squeezes on and impinges your spinal cord. This would be called central canal stenosis. On a normal spine, there are areas on the sides where your nerves come off of your spinal cord, come out the side and go down your legs, and up here in your neck area, they go down your arms. Normally, these nerves can move around without being impinged by the bony part of your vertebrae. But when these areas on the side, which are the foramina, become narrow, now those nerves are impinged. They're rubbing when you're walking or moving or lifting, and they're causing inflammation and pain down the length of that nerve. So, in my case, I have central canal stenosis, where there is impingement onto the middle of my spinal cord, and I also have foraminal canal stenosis, where there is impingement on nerves that come off my spinal cord and go down my legs. What does that feel like? Well, when it first started, it would be hard for me to get in and out of a seat. As a bus driver, it was hard for me to get up out of the seat and to sit down into the seat. My spine felt like it was a very rusty hinge of a door that could barely open and close. That's what it felt like. It had a lot of difficulty moving. There was pain that would go down my legs, and more specifically for me, it also included into my right knee, where I also had an injury on my kneecap called chondromalacia patella, where the back of my kneecap was worn off from pushing on the pedal. Also, many people that have spinal stenosis, or most people actually that have spinal stenosis, also have hip problems. So on my left hip, I developed edema, which is fluid and swelling and pain that would come from the compressions of the nerves in my back that travel down into my hip. How do you know if you have spinal stenosis? Typically, you have to get an MRI, and the MRI will indicate where and which levels of your spine that you have central canal stenosis and or foraminal canal stenosis. My MRI indicates that I have central canal stenosis and foraminal canal stenosis and the impingement of different nerves on the left and right side of my lumbar spine. This is called an invisible disability because it can be hard for people on the outside looking in to see you as having anything wrong with you. Because if you can walk and you can talk and you can wash the dishes and you can lift the bag of sugar, then they think, oh, there's nothing wrong with you. But I remember in the beginning, it was very hard for my children to understand that I was in a lot of pain. I remember going to Walmart with my son, and he wanted to go shop. So I said, okay, I'll take you to Walmart, but we only can be in here for a little while. So I walked in, and by the time I got to the back aisle where the furniture is, they have metal crates, metal stacks that hold the furniture. And by the time I got to the back of the store, I had to go. So I was contacting him and I was telling him, we have to leave. I can't do this anymore. And he's, you know, a young teenager and he's still trying to shop. And I'm saying, no, we have to go. So I found myself holding on to the metal bar that had like the TV stands and the dressers. And I'm just holding on to the metal bar. And he comes to me and I had tears in my eyes. And I'm like, we have to leave. I can't walk. And I think that's when he understood that I was serious about what I was feeling. Many people will use a buggy or a stroller, some type of device that they can hold on to the handles so that they can lean over, because leaning over while you walk gives you less pressure on your spine so that you can have a little less pain so that you can walk. And many people might not understand that that's what a person with a back injury is doing when they're leaned over. For example, when this first happened to me, we were in a car and I was in a car with another person, and they were making fun of this lady that was walking down the street hunched over this something that she had in front of her that she was pushing, but she was holding on to it and hunched over. And they were like, there's nothing wrong with her. She just faking, blah, blah, blah. And I came to her aid. I was like, no, do not talk about her, because I understand exactly what she is feeling and why she is in that position. I began to see people everywhere that had disabilities in a different light, because now I understood what they were feeling, even though they could walk, even though they could put a purse over on their arm, even though they could stand in line. I understood the underlying pain that they were feeling and experiencing that people don't see, that people think don't exist in this invisible disability. Help groups on Facebook. That's where I found out it's happening to everyone. I've met people out in the community and they're at work and they're having excruciating pain, and I understand what they're going through, where no one understands. They just think it's fake. And I understand there are people that have fake illnesses, but if your MRI says that you have spinal canal stenosis and or foraminal canal stenosis, best to believe it is real. You really need to have a support group, because people that don't have it don't understand, and even the doctors don't understand, because there are certain things that look correct to the doctors, and yet you're still feeling the same way. You're still having the pain. You're still having the radiocopy. You're still having the nerve pain down your legs or down your arms. You're still having one of the things that you have is the pain at night and you don't get any sleep. I'll talk about that later in other videos. But you really need the support group. You really need to know that there are other people out there that are experiencing this, and it really helps, because on these support groups, when 1, 2, 3, 4, 7,000 people talk about their experience, it's all the same. We are all experiencing the same symptoms. And until it happens to you, you do not understand, because on the outside, you may think that the person looks the same. They haven't lost a leg. Their eyes are still inside their head. They look normal. And so you feel that there's nothing wrong with them. And while they are experiencing excruciating pain and difficulties in doing regular things in life. And if you have spinal stenosis, you really need that support group because it will motivate you to keep on moving, to look for things that will help you with your situation. And I'm here to help you with your situation. So YouTube, if this is happening to you, let me know in the comments so that we can support each other. If you're living with spinal stenosis, comment below and let me know. We're all in this together.